exactly 1:24 a.m. on March 18th, 1990, two men dressed as Boston police officers knocked on the side door of the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. The air was cold, still heavy with the remnants of St. Patrick's Day festivities from the night before. In the distance, drunk college students stumbled home, unaware that just a few streets away, the most valuable art heist in history was beginning. When the museum's security guard buzzed the fake officers inside, he believed he was just doing his job. They said they were responding to a disturbance. Standard procedure, he thought. But there was no disturbance, just a trap. Within seconds, the two guards on duty were handcuffed, gagged, and blindfolded, led down to the museum's basement and duct-taped to a pair of old steam pipes. One of the thieves leaned in close to one of the guards and whispered, "This is a robbery. Don't give us problems and you won't get hurt." Then the thieves disappeared upstairs into the darkness of the museum's empty halls. For the next 81 minutes, the two men roamed freely through one of America's most treasured art collections. They weren't in a rush. They knew the museum had no silent alarm. They knew the police wouldn't come. They knew the museum's security tapes were recording, so they took those too. Inside the Dutch room, a gilded gallery with silk-lined walls, they sliced Rembrandt's only known seascape, the storm on the Sea of Galilee, from its frame. They tore a lady and gentleman in black from the wall and left the empty frames dangling like skeletons. They took Vermeer's The Concert, a painting so rare it's been called the most valuable stolen artwork in the world. Only 34 Vermeer paintings are known to exist. After this night, 33 remained. They moved like ghosts through the museum's silent corridors, ripping artworks from the walls with the surgical precision of someone who knew exactly what they wanted. But then something strange happened, something that has puzzled investigators for decades. They stole an ancient Chinese bronze beaker, not worth much compared to the masterpieces nearby. They took a small Rembrandt self-portrait etched into copper, but ignored a much more valuable Michelangelo drawing. They even took a decorative finial, a tiny golden eagle that once sat atop a Napoleonic flagpole. Small, odd, personal choices, as if this wasn't just about money. At 2:45 a.m., the thieves wheeled the artwork out through the museum's side door in two separate trips. They loaded the stolen treasures into a beat-up red hatchback and vanished into the fog of early morning Boston. They left behind empty frames, motion detectors that had silently tracked their every move, and two terrified guards tied up in the basement. By the time the real police arrived, the thieves were long gone. The value of the stolen pieces? Over $300 million in 1990 dollars. Today, estimates put the haul at over $600 million. But money wasn't the only thing taken that night. The Gardner Museum heist wasn't just a robbery. It was an erasure. Some of the greatest works of human creativity gone in the span of 81 minutes. And for more than 30 years, not a single piece has been recovered. The FBI launched what would become the largest art theft investigation in history. They questioned career criminals, mobsters, disgraced art dealers. They tapped phones, surveilled suspects, chased leads from Boston's North End to the docks of Miami. But every trail went cold. The most credible theory pointed toward the Boston mob. In the late 80s and early 90s, the city's underworld was in chaos. Power struggles between rival factions had created a bloodbath. And one of the dominant crime figures at the time was Carmine Romano, a man with connections to both the Italian mafia and Boston's Irish mob. Rumors circulated that the artwork had been used as collateral in backroom deals, shuffled between criminal networks like poker chips, but nothing stuck. In 1994, the museum received an anonymous letter. The author claimed to have proof of life for the paintings and offered to return them for $2.6 million, no questions asked. But the letter's author vanished as quickly as they had appeared. The FBI believes they might have been murdered before they could make good on the deal. Over the years, sightings of the missing masterpieces surfaced like mirages. A tip from a mobster in Connecticut, a whispered clue in a prison yard, an informant in Philadelphia claiming to have seen the concert in a storage unit. Every time, the hope of recovery flickered, and then died. Investigators eventually turned their focus to two known criminals, George Reisfelder and Leonard DiMuzio, both low-level Boston gangsters with connections to organized crime. But there was one problem. Both of them died within a year of the heist. Some believe they were silenced. Others think they took the secret to their graves. Years passed. The frames remained empty on the museum's walls as a grim reminder of what was lost. The museum even offered a $10 million reward, the largest in history for a private crime. No one came forward. In 2010, the FBI revealed something new. They had surveillance footage from the night before the heist. The same security guard who let the thieves in was seen on camera opening the side door to an unknown man just 24 hours earlier. The guard, Rick Abath, was a 23-year-old rock musician moonlighting as night security. To this day, he denies any involvement. But the footage raised uncomfortable questions. Did he know more than he let on? Was he just a clueless kid, or was he part of the plan? Theories multiplied. Some believed the mob had stashed the paintings in an attic somewhere, waiting for the heat to die down. Others thought the artworks had been sold on the black market to secretive collectors, hidden away in private vaults, never to be seen again. But art is hard to hide, especially famous art. Selling a Vermeer is like trying to sell the Mona Lisa. It's too famous to fence. There's another possibility. The paintings were destroyed. Maybe in a panic, maybe to cover tracks, maybe by accident. Art experts call it cultural homicide, the idea that something priceless has been wiped from the face of the earth permanently. In 2013, the FBI made a public announcement. They believed they knew who committed the robbery, but they never named names. Why? Because the statute of limitations had expired. They couldn't prosecute anyone for the theft itself anymore, only for possessing the stolen art, which, conveniently, has never been found. Today, the Gardner Museum still leaves the empty frames hanging on the walls, exactly where the stolen paintings once lived. The scars are part of the museum now. Visitors walk past them every day, staring into blank spaces where masterpieces once hung, imagining what it must have looked like before the theft. Somewhere out there, maybe in a climate-controlled storage unit, maybe buried in a basement, maybe destroyed beyond recognition, are 13 pieces of irreplaceable art. The storm on the Sea of Galilee, the concert, Rembrandt's etchings, Manet's Chez Tortoni, the bronze eagle, gone. It remains the most valuable unsolved art heist in human history. A $300 million mystery that has outlasted mob bosses, FBI agents, informants, and suspects. The case is still open. The reward is still on the table. But the paintings? They're still missing.